All right, let's dive right in. When you're working with data, you want to get your hands dirty, right? Well, today we're talking about SQL's data manipulation language, or DML. Think of these as the power tools in your data toolbox. These are the commands that let you actually change the stuff inside your database. And yeah, that's a ton of power, which, you guessed it, comes with a ton of responsibility.
So what even is DML when you get down to it? It's all about manipulating the data within your tables. It's not about changing the structure, the columns themselves. That's a whole other thing. No, DML is about the rows, the actual information. It's how you add a new customer, update an email address, or remove an old order. It's the lifeblood of a dynamic database.
Okay, we're going to break this down into the three main commands. And honestly, the best way to think about them is like power tools from your workshop. First, you've got insert. That's your nail gun. Bam, you're adding new rows of data. Then there's update. That's your power sander for tweaking and modifying what you've already built. And finally, you've got delete. That's the saw. It gets the job done, but you have to be so careful with it because there's no going back from a bad cut.
So let's start with Act 1, the power of creation. We're talking about adding new data with insert. This is the fun, constructive part, building things up.
The anatomy of an insert is actually really straightforward. Think of it as a two-part move. First, you point. You say, insert into this table, and specifically into these columns. That's step 1. Then, step 2, you provide the goods. You say values, and then list the actual information you want to add. Just make sure your values match up with the columns you named. Simple as that.
Okay, first, big pro tip, and this one is important. You'll see some code out there that skips naming the columns. Don't do it. It's a trap. Yeah, it works if you know the exact order of every column. But what happens 6 months from now when someone adds a new column in the middle? Your code either breaks or, and this is way worse, it silently shoves data into the wrong fields. So just trust me on this. Always spell out the column names. It makes your code clear, safe, and basically future-proof.
Here's another great tip for you. Let's say you need to add, 3 new products. You don't have to write 3 separate insert commands. That's a waste of time. Instead, you can just list all your new rows in one go, separated by commas. It's so much more efficient for the database. It's like firing 3 nails with a nail gun versus hammering them in one by one by one. It's a no-brainer.
Okay, Act 2, the power of modification. We've added data, now we need to change it. This is where we pick up the update command. And listen, this is where things get a little more serious. This is where we need to be really, really careful. Our first big warning is coming up.
Pay close attention to this. This is probably the most common oh no moment for new SQL developers. If you write an update statement and you forget the where clause, you will update every single row in the entire table. Let me say that again. Every single row. That is almost certainly a huge mistake. So what's the most important part of an update? It's these 5 letters. Where. Always. Use where. It's not a suggestion, it's the law, it's the safety on the gun. It's what prevents you from wrecking your entire data set. All right, now that we're properly terrified and respectful of its power, let's look at the syntax. It's pretty logical. You say update a table, then you set a column to a new value, and then the part we will never ever forget, you use where to specify a condition. So you're only changing the exact rows you want to touch. No where clause? You change everything. Simple as that. And now, Act 3, the power of destruction. We are picking up the saw, the delete command. This is it. This command doesn't just change data, it removes it. Permanently. Gone forever. This is the big one. The one that demands our absolute undivided attention and respect. Look, if you thought the warning for update was a big deal, this is a whole other level. Running delete without a where clause isn't just a mistake, it's a catastrophe. You're not just updating every row, you are deleting every row. You're emptying the table. There is no recycle bin, there is no undo, it's just gone. This is how you have a very, very bad day at work. And here's the scary part.
The syntax is deceptively simple. It's just delete from a table and then the where clause. That's it. That where clause is the only thing that stands between a surgical removal of a few bad rows and wiping out your entire table. The golden rule: you never, ever run delete without where, unless your goal is to have an empty table.
Okay, that was intense. But now that we understand the power, let's talk about how to control it. Let's put together our DML safety manual. How do we use these incredible tools with confidence and, not get fired? Let's talk about wielding this power responsibly.
All right, so imagine this. You've just typed out an update or a delete command. Your heart's beating a little faster. Your finger is hovering over that run button. How can you be 100% sure that you're only going to touch the exact rows you want? What's the check? And here it is. This is the single best habit you can build. It's called the Select First Safety Check. It's brilliant. Before you run your dangerous command, you first write a select star from that table using the exact same where clause. Then you run the select. You look at the results. Does that little preview show exactly the rows you want to mess with and nothing else? If yes, great. Now you can just highlight select star from and replace it with your update or delete statement and run it with total confidence. It's like a dry run that guarantees you won't make a terrible mistake.
So let's wrap it all up. What are the key takeaways? Insert adds new rows, and remember, always list out your columns. Update modifies existing rows, and it is never safe without a where clause. Delete removes rows, and it's absolutely catastrophic without a where clause. And the golden rule to rule them all: always test your where clause with a select first. Do that, and you'll be just fine.
So there you have it. The power to manage data is officially in your hands. You know how to build, how to modify, and most importantly, how to do it all safely. You've got the keys to the kingdom. So the real question is, what are you gonna build first?